I am coming to the Madlanga Commission with receipts. He extorted millions from me, and he is also a drug trafficker. Pakistani national Imran Butt, whom Sibiya tried to implicate and blackmail at the Madlanga Commission, has come out with explosive allegations backed with evidence against him. This is not all. He has just shattered the entire internet with new stories. Could this be a lie? Who do you think is lying between the two now? Let's watch what Sibiya said about him first, then later, watch his own side of the story and compare the two. Watch till the end and judge the two for yourself. And please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more updates.
Those cases. Now, I have to go to allegations of high treason.
Before that, General, I think under this topic, there's information that I think is important to put on record for completeness of what you are explaining. At paragraph 39, you speak about this from paragraph 38 up to 41. In paragraph 39, you do state that these charges that were finally brought against you were a product of a complaint or allegations by somebody. Maybe you need to put that on record. Paragraph 39?
Despite this, a criminal docket for fraud and corruption was later opened against me in March 2015 based on allegations made by Mr. Imran Butt, an individual implicated in organized crime and human trafficking, whom I have previously investigated while serving as head office of the Hawks in Gauteng.
So this person, Imran Butt, is a civilian or is a member of the police?
He's a Pakistani national who's involved in human trafficking.
Okay, but not a police officer?
It's not a police officer.
Okay, and then in paragraph 40, you say what period these allegations or this story about fraudulent travel claims relate to. Maybe you should put that on record, what period we are talking about. You do say in the first line.
I said additionally, in February 2016,
yes,
I was arrested and charged with 5 counts of fraud. The charges were premised on the above fraud and corruption docket, as well as claims that I had corruptly acquired a BMW and had submitted fraudulent travel and petrol claims.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Unless you think the rest of it is important, you want to put it on record, but I just wanted the date to be on record.
Yes, and it also reminded me of the fact that they were actually alleging that this car was actually bought for me by a person who was supposed to have been charged for poaching. They said the money was paid by someone for me to buy this car. They then went, same crime intelligence went to BMW. I've got a whole file where they went and obtained statement to check how I procured or how I purchased the car. They found that from day one, I applied for finance. I paid the car, no deposit was ever paid, no any other money paid into the bank or BMW. I've been paying for this car until I changed it. So that is one of the key things that I wanted to mention. The same applies to what I'm going through is just history repeating itself, because I'll be taking the commissioners through and say, as I'm taking to you, as they say, they will talk about the 2 million here. Let's look at all the bonds that I have, and you tell me where there's 2 million paid where. So I just want to go step by step.
No, General, I know that I interrupted you. You were moving to discuss high treason and espionage allegations against you. I just wanted clarification on those two issues. You may proceed.
During December 2016, the former Gauteng of the Hawks, Major General Prince Mukotedi, made a statement under oath in which he alleged that I, together with several other individuals, was implicated in offenses of high treason and espionage. These allegations were purported based on a so-called top-secret intelligence report, which he claimed to have received around April 2016. The report allegedly implicated me, Mr. Paul O'Sullivan, Mr. Robert McBride, Ms. Candice Coutier, and other unidentified persons said to be associated with AfriForum and the Democratic Alliance. The intelligence report concerned was highly questionable. Now, according to General Mukotedi, a meeting allegedly took place on the 3rd of December 2016 at a property previously owned by a convicted criminal, during which it was purported discussed that certain senior officials and individuals supportive of the former President Jacob Zuma would be targeted through false criminal investigations and a coordinated media campaign designed to discredit them. It was further alleged that pressure would be placed on politicians to remove certain senior officials from office. That damaging information concerning President Zuma's son would be used to mobilize public pressure, and that these actions would culminate in an Arab Spring type uprising intended to destabilize the country and force the resignation of President Zuma. On this basis, General Mukodedi concluded that these alleged plans constituted high treason and espionage. Now, I just want to say, and I was labeled to be a member of the Gestapo gang at that time, because it was somewhere in the statement that I'm a Gestapo gang member, and we are involved in treason and so those were the small charges that were brought in. At this present moment, same modus operandi, I'm a Big Five or member of the Big Five. I just want to remind the commissioners constantly that I went through this from intelligence, these allegations, this modus operandi, same allegations, same way.
After Sibiya's allegations, this is the developing story that shocked everyone. Pakistan businessman Imran Butt has filed papers requesting to appear before the Madlanga Commission. To do what exactly? Here's the reason why and all the stories you need to hear. This comes after a Pakistan businessman, Imran Butt, filed papers to the Madlanga Commission requesting to appear before it to clear his name after was mentioned during the first day of Sibiya's testimony on Wednesday. During his testimony, Sibiya alleged that Butt was involved in human trafficking. But Butt refuted the claims during his interview with Newsroom Africa on the same day. Butt claimed that he had opened a case of fraud against Sibiya in 2015. He accused Sibiya of lying when he testified that Butt was investigated for human trafficking and insisted that it was the other way around. Butt said Sibiya was allegedly investigated for human trafficking. He remarked that the Hawks head office investigated Sibiya's alleged involvement in human trafficking. He added that he has evidence he is willing to present before the commission. In the letter filed by his legal representatives, BFK Attorneys, the letter reads, "It has come to our client's attention that evidence was given before the commission by Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya, in which our client is implicated and/or referred to in a manner that, on our instructions, falsely implicates him in serious criminal offenses. In keeping with the principles of fairness and the well-established rule of audi, alteram, partem, our client respectfully seeks an opportunity to appear before the commission in order to place his version on record under oath and to respond fully to any allegations or inferences arising from the testimony concerned," the letter reads. His legal representatives accordingly requested that they would be pleased to liaise with the Honorable Chairperson of the Commission, retired Judge Mbuyiseni Madlanga, to make the necessary arrangements for Mr. Butt's appearance before the Commission. Advise us of the proposed date, time, and procedural requirements for such appearance, and confirm whether the Commission requires the prior filing of a sworn affidavit or any supporting documentation in advance of his testimony. Our client's request is made in good faith and in the interests of assisting the Commission in arriving at a complete and balanced understanding of the matters under consideration. We trust that this request will receive your urgent attention, and we look forward to your response," the letter reads. Butt claimed that the top cop extorted him of money, running into millions. He claimed he has proof and is willing to testify at the Madlanga Commission.
To say, this is what I see, how I see it, and this is what I want done. The moment the National Commissioner implement the national or forward it to the next person lower, the National Commissioner is beginning to act on the minister's letter.
That's the way you see it.
That's the way I see it. That's now beginning to implement.
Yes.
That's the implementation now. Because if the National Commissioner was not in agreement, it was going to have to bounce back from that level back and say, can I engage? But now, in this case, the fact that now it had to now cascade further down, it means now we are now in the implementation stage.
Can we agree? I think it's easier if we agree that SS9, which is also repeated in SS10, does not say to you, implement the deactivation. It doesn't say that when you read it. Just on the face of it, General, and it really should be easy for you to accept that.
What makes it difficult for me to accept is that a close-up report, the word close-up report, is a big word.
No, it may be a big word, General. You say three things. You know you're distinguishing between, in your paragraph 71, you distinguish between a close-up report and implementation of the deactivation. So you understood it as you were drafting this paragraph 71, that those two are different. So let's not now conflate them and try and make them to mean the same thing, or implementation flows from a close-up report. You understand and you express it that way in paragraph 71, that he instructed you to do three things. You don't say in 71, he said, communicate and prepare close-up report, and because he said prepare close-up report, I started implementing. That's not what you say. You say, he said implement. And so where he says he never gave me instructions to implement, he's being dishonest. That's what you've said consistently. And what I'm putting to you, or what I'm simply discussing with you, is you could not rely on SS9, and insofar as you're trying to rely on SS10, you can't for the instruction to implement, because they do not say to you implement. They say only two things: close-up report, communicate.
I think, Chair, at this point in time, and I beg for your indulgence on this one, Chair, in this sense, if myself, I get this email and I give it to my legal team who assist me to craft the statement, who also understand it the same way and say, all right, in crafting and the word implement was used, as far as I'm concerned, this is how I understood it to mean. But if I was wrong, or maybe in the eyes of the chair or the commissioners, it's two different words, I will accept it without being argumentative. But as far as I'm concerned, the intention was not to deviate from the National Commissioner's instruction, because to me, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it means exactly the same thing. So I just want to say, Chair, that communicate the deactivation to the team and prepare a close-up report. Already we have crossed the line of, we are now implementing. That's what I thought. But if I'm wrong, Commissioners, I will give up on this one.
So I just want to be clear, and it's not about what we prefer or the mistakes made by lawyers, if that's what you're suggesting. I'm looking at SS9, and all I need you to, or what I'm testing with you is, do you, and I expect you should accept, that SS9, on the face of it, does not contain an instruction, doesn't contain three instructions. It contains only two instructions. and it does not contain an instruction to implement the deactivation, just on the face of it. You've read it into the record. You may have read in your head, interpreted it, and decided it does contain an instruction to implement. That's a conversation for another day, how you would have gotten there. But I'm simply now discussing with you that on the face of it, it doesn't tell you to implement the deactivation of the PKTT. On the face of it.
Chair, if I was arguing with the person at my level, I was going to take it further, but at this point in time, I want to cut it short.
Earlier, General, I said your responses should not depend on who is engaging you. So please give the response that you want to give. I'm sorry for the interruption, Commissioner Malloy. So please respond, General.
Chairperson, I don't want to really sound as if like I am, and I don't want to anger the commissioners as well. I want to leave it at that.
General, no, please speak freely. You make our job easy when you speak freely, because we need to get to the bottom of the facts. You shouldn't not say things because you don't want to make me
If I was
angry.
talking to my lawyer, Chair, she was going to say that's semantics.
Try it with me. Maybe I'll say the same thing.
Yes. She was going to say to me, I mean, it's one thing. You implemented, you want a close-up report, we are saying close. Implement. And now the chair is still holding me onto a word and say, this word doesn't mean this, but when you look at the ultimate goal, we are going to the same direction.
General, maybe that word means, this word means that, whatever you mean with that. All I'm asking you.
I want to apologize, Chair, that I said that I hope it's not going to be used against me anywhere as well.
No. All that we will do is to assess the evidence. Be assured of that,
Thank you, Chair.
General.
General, all I am seeking from you is, do you accept on the face of SS9 that it doesn't contain an instruction to implement? It doesn't contain, maybe let me simplify it. Do you accept, and as I think you must, that on the face of SS9 there are no words that read, which is in your paragraph 71, there are no words that say implement the deactivation of the PKTT. I want to keep it simple. Do you accept that? On the face of it?
I accept it.
All right, thank you. In fact, when you tend to, still in that same bundle, if you go to page 211, this is a document that you gave us, and I think you said it's an affidavit, that it's SS14. I think you said it's the affidavit that the National Commissioner filed in your application in the High Court. Page 211, it starts at 210, SS14, you see that? You there, the National, are you there, General?
I'm there at
211. There, the
SS14.
Yes, and then go to paragraph 8.5 of that document. There, the National Commissioner says, on 14 January, I had a